Hi, everybody. It's Alexandra. I just wanted to go today alive and talk about how people get disconnected from spirit at a very young age. Some people call it God, source, the creator, whatever your name is for it. Your connection to spirit, where it's the light, it's, where you came from. And my own experience, I came from a abusive background as a child, and as a child, I think after everything I'd gone through, it was really hard for me to allow God to even be out there, because God, when you ask God to help you, and He doesn't, there's a disconnect from that, from spirit, because why bother, or you just don't. And then it comes to a place where you don't feel worthy, because after that you're cut from God in its way, because you no longer have the connection or spirit. I'm not trying to be religious necessarily, because it's all the same when we're connecting to something greater than us, that we come from, that is the light. And not everyone believes that. I believe it from the experience of, I know that when I was young, I was disconnected. I was a child, and even as a child, I see pictures of myself, and I was so sad. I was just this little girl, and she was so sad. And, growing up, I just got used to the abuse, and I felt dirty from being like I wasn't good enough. And just, you felt like unworthy of God. And, the people that went to church, and all of that, they always had the good life, it seemed, and all of that. But that wasn't my experience. So how could that same God, be there for me? And that's kind of how I looked at religion, which I'm okay with that. I tried to allow it in, because I knew there was a connection to God and to love. But after, I tried this for a while and everything, but then after my daughter, when she passed away, and that was the other thing. I know that I prayed and prayed. Sorry, my hair's a mess. I prayed and prayed for her to, you know, be okay, and not, be in the position, brain dead from what happened to her. And, it was then that, I really felt disconnected. Like, this is too much, and I had some people come to the house, and she was an organ donor, and they got her liver, and they were so happy, and they wanted to say how grateful they were because their prayers are answered, and they come from a very wealthy area and everything, and they were happy, and I'm, you know, happy, to an extent for them. But it also made me feel, once again, well, God doesn't answer my prayers, so why would I bother, but after that, I really felt disconnected and abandoned, and in a really dark place with depression and things like that. And and that's when I started trying to find the light within myself by letting go of some of this stuff that held me down, the abuse that kept me dark, kept me cut from God, because I didn't feel worthy. It wasn't my fault, or, my daughter not living, and, you know, that another thing, it wasn't right, in some ways, but the thing is, even though all of that, though, I have to say, because some of my worst abuse was when I was 13, and that's the age that my daughter died, and they say that they carry, our children, carry our karma, basically, or our sins, if that was it, or whatever it is, but they carry it. And then, so karma can be a repetitive pattern also. Karma, it doesn't instantaneously mean I'm getting paid back from a past life. You can stay in a karmic pattern for a very long time until you can break it. Many lifetimes you can be repeating the same karma. being abused, but, not that you couldn't be a predator too, but many times it's that way. It's just like in this life, you get in a bad relationship and your father was this way and you just keep repeating that pattern. That's, you're still carrying the karma of that person because you're living out the karma. You just keep playing the same part over and over for yourself in karma because had something happen to you as a child or, whatever it is. And abuse in any way creates these patterns. And, for women, it's been very hard because, we've been oppressed for a very long time. And part of that is, making a woman, keeping her down and not letting her thrive and become the best part of who she is, because that's, that's freedom. If a woman can create and, take care of herself, you can't control them, So, and of course, that's been an old age thing for many thousands of years. But today, in this new age, as we are reconnecting to spirit through our healing, and many women today, have went through the process of finding that way of healing, through energy healing, whatever it is that they have, even they found their passion and they healed themselves because they found within them the love that helped them believe that they could do these things. So women, we are at this time where we're really trying to rise, and we have to understand that some of the, abuse keeps us in the patterns. And if we haven't taken a look at that darkness within us, we stay disconnected from spirit and God. And I wanted to say too, like, to me, this is teachings of Jesus too. And I listen to, or I have understanding of, awareness from all different areas. And so I see that they all have something that leads them to something greater than them, whether it's source, God, Christ consciousness, the universe, whatever it is, they want to hold that light within them. And, when that's cut from us, and it gets cut from us when we're cut away from that light, and that light's connected to the greater good and to God and all there is. And so we have to get back to that. And the only way we can get from disconnect is to remove what's blocking us. And a lot of times what's blocking us is the abuse and, things that we haven't been able to let go of. And that's why it's so important to go through this healing and really release these things so you can reach that place that is light and love and connected to God. And, and I wanted to say that because no matter how you see God, most people can say, yes, the creator of everything. And whether they say it as God or the universe or creator, it doesn't really matter. It's all source. It's all the same place. And, this goes a little biblical, or Jesus. But with Jesus and his consciousness is what we, strive to have within us. And that's what he taught is, embody me, embody who I am as a spirit, as the consciousness of Christ. And many people, think they see it outside. I'm a follower, but then they don't follow his teachings. And to follow his teachings, you have to embody him. You have to embrace love and kindness, compassion. You have to be willing to feed the hungry and, not just be worried about, the rich getting richer. We're all here for a mission, and maybe our lesson is, whatever it is we're going through here in the world today, because maybe we just don't understand that, this is, we are making a choice of who we are. Either we follow that light or we follow that dark. And that dark, can be within all of us from our trauma and our pain and things like this, and our ego, it can keep us away from the spirit, the connection that does connect you to the Christ consciousness, to God, the universe, all there is, the creator. All that is the same energy. But when you're over here separate, and you want to be separate because you're more interested in materialism than love and compassion, and helping others, and we're all human, we're all here for this experience. It can be one of love, or it can be one of greed and hate, you know and hate. We don't want that if we are striving to be connected to God, because God is love. That's what this whole thing's about, is finding that connection again, because in my belief system, I do believe we've had many lifetimes, and we've learned many things, and had many experiences to gain awareness. And it's when we take that awareness and we don't get stuck in the old patterns, and we take that awareness by healing, and we bring that awareness forward and share that what we have with others, we can rise to that peace and love situation, world, dimension, all of those things. But it's hard when we are seeing so much separation, so much hatred in the world, because even if you're in your own little bubble, the bubble is tempered with violence and fear. And it is, unless you're out, I don't know where, on a desert island, maybe not so safe, maybe you're there. But if you've got this whole bunch of dark emotions coming in, it's really hard to find that peace and love, no matter who you are today. And as I'm going through it, and I'm really understanding my connection to spirit, and this is really what this was supposed to all be about, and I'll get back to that last part. I'm not going to make this too long, but that all just came out, so I thought I'd share it. But the thing is my connection to God is also, like when a person is praying to God, they are praying knowing they are connected to God, the creator, all that is. And if you understand law of attraction, it's when you believe so much in a thing like that is light, that is love, because you're part of it, you become it, and you become the creator. And that's where abundance can come in. And I think many times that's where it's been hard for me to pray, because of still, many years later, I work through this still, and I'm still working through it right now, just believing enough in the importance of prayer. And I think, and prayer to the creator, or source, God, however you do it, that's when your life really, you allow in that you're good enough, that you deserve it, that it's okay to ask God to bring these things to you that you need. I would never be able to pray for things just for riches, because that isn't me. And and I know in a lot of attraction, that's kind of like why, because I think there's too many people homeless and on the streets, and I haven't done my work as somebody with compassion. If I have a lot of money and have big things, I would rather have my needs and take care of, help others in need, because there's so much of it, and so much pain and suffering. And that's love. That's how I would want to share my love, and abundance. And that's why I do these videos, because I'm trying to share more, from experience, and have people maybe get some understanding where they're confused. This channel came to me this morning, and I've been meaning to do this for a long time, but I guess it was just time today, and I really wanted to put that out, because so many people are suffering, in many ways, whether it's, they don't have enough money, or, it's usually you don't have enough money, but it's more than that, or it's all taken away from you. Where, like these people in Maui are losing everything, And for the last few years, I really had to have let go of material things, and I have trying to be a minimalist myself, and so I don't have that many things to my name, and it's like it's okay because it's freeing. I don't want the weight that holds me down, and I didn't really understand, but I am a Gemini, so very flighty. Have a lot of air in my sign, but I also have been concerned, that it would be too hot to live in a place. Now, I always thought I'd live in Hawaii or something, but now I'm like, wow, Hawaii after this would be, you could lose everything in a minute. And it's not about losing everything. It's like, why gather it to lose it? I mean, but not only that, it's like after my daughter died, I remember looking at all the things in her room because she was 13-year-old teenage girl. And, everything that was so important I had to get for her. I just wanted her to have all because she was my only girl. And you do that with your kids. And then when I go into her room and she's gone and there's her things that she had to have, or, I had to have for her, or whatever it was. And when I looked at this stuff, I just, I just couldn't attach myself to things anymore. Because what did it matter? What did these things sitting here? They meant nothing. And she was gone. And so, you know, it's just a lesson I have had to learn. And I feel so sad for so many that are going to go through this, on this planet as we're going through these changes. And when, going through the shift, everybody's so excited, the whole new age and changing. And that's great. And some, about, we change and hopefully we learn. But more scary than that is that, it's the sixth extinction, and when I became a shaman and, learned from some of these teachers, we are in the sixth extinction and they prophesized it and it is man-made. And so we're starting to see the results of it. And, they're saying the new earth is coming, you'll see it. And when we hear that, it sounds exciting, it's we new, but the new earth is coming, but it's changing already. That lands are burning down, places are flooding. This world has went through 6 of these. This is the 6th, right? So that's why it's hard to really talk about, because and one of the first spiritual book I ever read other than the Bible, which but was the Celestine Prophecy. And I remember reading it, and this was before my daughter died, so it was like 26 or so years ago. And she, or sorry, I got sidetracked when I said that. When I read that book, and it said in that book, this time would come, the big change, the shift. And they were talking about now in that book, and they were saying that we would have 1/6 of the population when after the shift takes place. And and I remember, and that's always haunted me. And I've listened to so many different belief systems on this. And but as the shaman believed, yes, there will be less, and the ones that will be here will be the earth keepers. And but that's a lot less people. And so we're in the middle of the shift, and this is tragedy upon tragedy, fear and pain and loss and grief everywhere we look, and hatred. Throw in that. So we're not seeing a ton of love and compassion at this time. And we can understand it because of where people are. But on the other hand, it's like, for me, it's like the only person I can change is me. The only way I can do that is to be love, to share love when I can, to try and step away from anger when I can, and not to be materialistic and obsessed with things that don't matter, but cherish the things that do. And help others gain the understanding they need and whatever gifts that we may have to share. And so, I want to start sharing the videos every day again. And I want to start doing some readings. I'm looking into doing an app for my appointments and stuff, and starting to open up more appointments that way. But I'm just working on a lot of stuff. But I know it's time that I start doing the videos and, getting these messages out, because a lot of us are feeling the same things, and we get lost in our own, thoughts about things. And this channel was, it came to me today to do it. I do a lot of, channeling, and when it's time to do these messages, and they're telling me it's time to start now. I think it's because we're close to that new moon, and it's my new beginning. I want to share these messages to help anyone to maybe who is struggling with their connection to God, spirit, law of attraction. It's that belief in all of them that helps you, and that belief that you're connected and you're worthy. And you always got to have that too. And so, just I, would encourage you to, find out within yourself, that connection to spirit, and pray, or do all of these things. And then if there's something blocking you, look within, look at the trauma that you haven't let go of, and find a way to release it. And maybe I'll do some more videos on how to release it, because this is where we start healing ourselves, so that we allow spirit to work with us and to guide us and to connect us to the light and help us let go of things that are not important. What's most important in this big shift in this time, because we are at a separation of souls at the same time, and the separation of souls is at your vibration. It's, and so if you're at the vibration of hate, you're going to vibrate with a group of haters. Just a warning for you. If if you are cheating, you're stealing and harming others, you're going to meet a bunch of your friends where you're going. Because we're separating at vibration, our energies will attract where we're at. And if we want love and peace, the only way to, be with that group is to become love and peace. So, I encourage y'all to find your place. And if you're okay where you are, okay. But, we're in this time where souls are shifting, and we don't know. A lady came over today, and was talking about how she just, and she's around my age, and she just lost four of her friends, 6 people, or 4 people. That was kind of weird to say. Anyways, in the last 30 days. And I was like, wow. Because, first the COVID, they put it out there, they didn't, doesn't matter to me anymore. It matters that people are dying everywhere. When many years ago, I worked for the IRS, and we had this survey that we had to do. And in it, we had to see the cause of death, like, for many, many years. It was this whole program, and we were checking cause of death statistics. They do a lot of those, I guess, out there. And anyways, and I noticed almost everyone, unless it was like an accident or something freaky, the final cause of death would be pneumonia. So, and then today it's COVID. I'm sure if they do a survey, that's how it is. But it's, so things like this have been around, but it's still a lot, but more people are dying, and when climate change, you may not like these words or not, but with what's happening, become aware, climate change is real. And the thing is more and more people are going to be lost. And for in all different ways, from illnesses, because when fires or oceans get so hot and ecosystems die, then we start dying. It's an ecosystem that we survive on. And, this is happening in the oceans, definitely out of Florida, so there's a lot of stuff going on. And if we don't pay attention, we, may not do the work that we're required to do right now. And it's within each of us. It's to become love, to let go of those things that would make us hateful and judgmental and cruel, and definitely if you think, following somebody who would lead you into doing hateful, horrible things, killing people, whatever it is, and many other things. If you're following someone like that in this last time, in this time when it's really time to get yourself right, and that doesn't mean I go to church every Sunday, but my heart is, I'll kill this guy over here. That's not going to get you there. So back to this vibration thing. If you want to be with the light and love and God, Creator, and be with the light, you have to vibrate with the light, live your life with the light, embrace the light, embrace love, embrace peace, embrace compassion, and we're at that separation point with the things that are going to be coming up. It's hard. And, think about all these people in Hawaii that are going to have to probably leave and not know where they're going. And they're now immigrants to wherever they're going. This is happening all over the world. We don't care when it's not right where we are, but when we're seeing it around the world, it's a wake up call, and not the kind of awakening to going back 50 years and solving nothing. It's an awakening to how we are as human beings and where we're headed and, what our beliefs are, and sadly, it can cause a lot of hard stuff is to come, I'm afraid. And, we got to have compassion through it and find that love within, and surrender to letting go of everything that keeps us to this physical world. Because if you are love and light, and you just are, you can go and let go easily of this world, they call it ascension. But there's different ways that people will be leaving. But I'm just saying, embrace the love, embrace the light, embrace the things that are light within you, that are good. And that was just my message for today on my channel. So I hope I get a lot of watches on this. I appreciate everybody who would listen. All right. Love you all.